So we've just got back from the 2025 Sprintcar CLASSIC. I've got James here with me. He does all my video and photo content here in the studio and as well as events. So we're just going to have a chat about the event. Obviously your second time ever being at a speedway event, and I've been going to the Classic for as long as I can remember. So pretty cool event. It was a great weekend. Unfortunately, there was no LD stall there, which we'll get into. But overall, we're just going to have a chat, talk about the event. And yeah, first off, I'd love to see your initial thoughts on speedway, just in general.
The pro versus the amateur, right? Look, speedway's wicked. We had a pretty cool introduction, really, with Western Springs, I think it was, in New Zealand.
Yeah. Which is in the city. So here's you thinking speedway's in the city. Then next minute, you're like a town. Like, well, wait till you get to the outback towns of the speedway where the true grassroots is.
I knew they wouldn't all be in a city, just for context, but it was just an epic track in the sense of, like, you had the hill and just the topography of it was really, really cool. But it wasn't exactly what I was expecting, right? Because you'd thrown it out to me this entire time. I was like, no, it's dirty. It's really proper in the mud. It's in the sticks, grassroots. Man, loved it. The Classic is something really special. Like, if you're a motorsports fan in general, and even if you don't know anything about speedway, worth going and seeing. I had no clue. I think I asked you about the rules 17 times.
Yeah, and who's this?
Yeah, literally.
What are they going out for now?
Or I'd get half the name of a driver right.
You spend too much time around road racing.
I do. I really do. But dirt is just something different, and it's kind of like I put this to a couple of guys we were with. It's kind of like when I cover rally, right? It's actually quite a on track, everybody's really feisty, they're doing their thing. But outside of it, it's actually really big community based.
Yeah.
In road racing and circuit racing in general, usually people just stick to their teams.
It's corporate.
Yeah.
It's very corporate.
It's very clean. Nobody really mingles. They don't really get around it. We're just walking around and everybody comes up and says hello. Everybody's quite friendly. Yeah. As a photographer and a videographer for a lot of motorsport events, it can be quite difficult getting access. And, some of these teams like, man, come in here, come into our trailer and take a photo. Like, it's just, it's very authentic like that, which is really, really beautiful to see. And it's super family oriented too. Like, it's all ages, mate. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Everybody gets around it, and like, yeah, okay, it's dusty, it's dirty, but it's bloody entertaining. And, 40 laps of that at the end, that's the craziest part.
Yeah, the racing's insane. That's why I've always liked it, because that's actually why I went down that path in the beginning, was because I could get involved as a kid. So then getting involved and then obviously racing for those period of years, it was epic. I love the racing.
Yeah, and, like, everybody kind of grows up with it, right? Like, everybody starts when they're youngest. They all grow up close-knit. Like, some of the guys are older, they're kind of getting towards their 30s now. Some of them are quite young and fresh, and everybody's still that kind of level supportive. But, man, crashes. You don't see this level of just accidents anywhere. Like, I think on the average, like, in 20 laps, you probably have 3 accidents. Someone flips. I saw a bloody steel wing get folded into a bloody piece of origami.
Every night.
Like, it's just a wild time. And then at the end, it's just a big party.
Pretty much.
Final night, everybody just, opens up their trailers, plays doof music. Everybody's, all the public are allowed to go into the pit lane at that point and, start mingling with all the drivers.
Yeah, well, in some tracks like Perth, like, the public's allowed all the time.
Yeah, right,
and kids and everything.
Yeah, there you go. Still teaching me stuff. But, epic experience, mate. Like, and you wouldn't expect it to be out in this country town. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people just...
Yeah, and it's a sold-out event.
Yep. Absolutely nuts.
Yep.
Like, it's ballistic. So, definitely worth going to. And relatively approachable, too. And one of the things Ryan said to me is, and he promised the exact same thing, by the way, at New Zealand, which was there'll be lockdown everywhere. And there was a lot in New Zealand. There was a lot. But what I saw in Warrnambool was next level. Like, genuinely, the best way to describe it is like when you're playing Grand Theft Auto and you finally get the car that you want and you've been looking for half an hour, 40 minutes, and then suddenly everywhere. Like, there's genuine photos I took of someone wearing a cap, and then you look in the background in the blur and there's someone with another cap that I wasn't even aware of. It's rampant, mate. Like,
I would have to think that 1 in 5 people at that event were wearing lockdown.
Minimum.
I reckon.
Minimum.
Yeah, it's pretty insane, and, obviously thankful for the community. It's so cool to see everyone, wearing the brand out and about. So forever thankful for that. I feel like the community we've created is really cool.
It's epic.
yeah, it's just epic's a good word to use there. So yeah, it's really cool. It's always exciting to go. Every year there's more and more and more. So I'm just always keen to get involved.
And we had quite a lot of people come up to us as well, right? Like, and say, hey, you know, Ryan was wearing a new hat that he hasn't released yet. Soon. Wait on this. But people just come up to me and go, oh, I haven't seen that on the site yet, or I haven't seen this. Where can I get that? Or like one of the guys we were traveling with, Josh, was wearing a shirt that's pretty new. I think we've already dropped the video for that, I think, by this point. Yeah. And he was going, oh, how'd you get a hold of one so quick? Like, people are genuinely, they're not just wearing the stuff. They're enthusiastic.
There was a couple of people where we were, they're like, oh, is that the shirt? Like, I just bought one last night. So it's pretty cool. Like, obviously, I was planning to get to the event with a stall and have them there, which would have been really cool, but unfortunately didn't pan out this year. But it was still pretty cool to see we launched it on that Thursday night, and the people there who'd ordered it on Friday were like, oh, I want to get that, or had already got it. So it was pretty cool.
And seeing stuff fresh there as well is really cool. And, you know, something that I commented on to Ryan was just the sheer variety. There's a lot.
Yeah, so like that was one, like as you're saying, that was one key thing I really wanted to do was make sure there was so many different hats and different colours for people to wear. So that way you go to an event, there's something different. Yeah. There's nothing worse when everyone's wearing the same thing. It's still cool, but it's like awkward. So the fact that I've been able to bring out so many different colours and varieties of things gives people the choice. Yep. And then you can go to events like this where it is quite dense, the amount of lockdown that's around, but it's all different.
100%.
Which I think is important. So thankfully, the plan that I kind of thought in my head and took a gamble on has worked.
Yeah, no, mate, hats off to you.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Nice.
But like even, you know, on that note, even just walking around and, you know, the drivers getting behind it too, not even like your ambassadors, because there's a few guys that we work with there. But, you know, just the general support and love, no matter their affiliation or if they've got one or if they don't. Everybody gets behind it to some level, and you know, like I've been able to witness. Obviously, I knew nothing about hats. We've had a discussion before. Hats or apparel.
Or Speedway.
Yeah, or Speedway. Before I met you, but just watching your stuff hold up in the element that it was designed for is really cool.
Geez, Speedway's a pretty harsh environment, right? So I think, you know, if it can survive Speedway, it can survive a lot of other environments. It's funny how like that was my initial intention, and then from there I realized all the other elements are not as harsh. So I'm like, oh, this is great, but
you've actually over-engineered.
Yeah, I've over-engineered, and now it's lasting too long. Damn it.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, oh god, repeat customer base. But no, that's something I found, right. So I was wearing, I like the classic cap normally, so that's the trail there, but the classic variant, and I got clay, dirt, anything and everything you can think of, sweat, water, everything all over that thing. Yeah. And it's just...
Yeah, the new clay at Speedway is pretty tacky, so we're getting covered, not only the hats, but all your camera gear.
You can't see it, but all of this is just covered,
it's just covered in clay.
Dust.
But yeah, it just washes off. And that was the initial intention. So then from there it progressed, and it's like, oh, well, this is actually a really good hat for any case scenario.
Yeah, and like it's the same thing on the durability bit, right? Like I remember pointing out to you one night, there was a guy literally sat in front of us in the stands. He was wearing a white trail, I think it was, like one of the original ones, and it was beat up. Like, when I say beat up, I mean there's marks and stuff on it, but I ended up actually speaking to the guy later on. He's like, yeah, man, I wash it all the time. It lasts forever. Like, you know, I'm a tradie. It's what I wear on a regular basis. Like, it's good for here. I just take it home, rinse it off. She's all good to go again. So, like, it's bloody sick. But
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. So, like this, the sheer community they get behind the product. Like I say, is before the drivers, lots of different drivers getting behind it as well. But I think it's just creating a product that is just high quality. I think, is important, and that's why lots of people are getting behind it, because they're like, oh, well, it just lasts longer, right? Yep. It's comfortable. It's got my extra large size if you got a big noggin, which is like, you know, it's pretty close to 50-50 for regular and extra large. So it's a serious issue that, I think we've covered there. So
100%. Yeah. So Ryan, why are you feeling a little bit under the weather, mate? So Ryan was down for the entire time, but he was a bit MIA for the first day two?
Yeah, I must have eaten something pretty wonky on Thursday night. So Friday I spent all day in bed, didn't even make it to the track.
I think he had 2 bananas in about the space of 2 days. That was the sustenance on the menu.
The monkey diet. So So that was rough, but yeah, it was all good for Saturday and back. But yeah, completely lost Friday. Just wiped that off the calendar. That didn't exist.
Shocker. I don't think he
Yeah.
moved. I think
No,
I went to the track for about 8 hours and I come back and he's in the exact same spot where he
It
was
was
before.
terrible.
So.
It was terrible.
But-
Didn't even catch up on sleep. But yeah, so that was my fun Friday. But overall, yeah, got back to the track on the weekend, and yeah, it was thankfully a good event. Both nights of racing that I saw were pretty good.
Yeah, how did it stack up compared to previous classics for you?
I've seen quite a lot, and I think the new surface and everything they had this year has worked. What they've done is they've done a good job to get it to where it needs to be. I think the racing was good. There was technical from a driver's point. So people watching on the hill, there was, lots of bumps, slick. I thought it was great. And the drivers, probably a bit of hard work out there.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
they're there to put on a show, and I think they put on a pretty good show.
So for the amateurs out there, including myself, what's the difference in surface compared to usual? What do they do to change it? What's the go?
Oh, I mean, for this track specifically, they just had a different dirt.
Okay.
It just held up differently. Whereas this year, it was completely different. And it actually, I don't know, progressed through the night better than what it used to. It used to just hold a lot of moisture and be like fast or real rough. Whereas,
okay.
This is more of a, what we'll call normal surface.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. There you go. Learning things.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Look, it was pretty epic to see James win that event. Like, James was probably one of the first lockdown athletes.
Not me, of course.
Whenever it was.
Just to stipulate.
James McFadden. And this was 6-7 years ago. We started working with each other. I've known him for a long time before that. But it was pretty cool to see him get, I don't know what it was, maybe his third classic win or whatever it is, which is pretty cool. And obviously do some work for the Team Brady as well, and have known them through the family for quite a long time. So great to see them put this massive deal together and have that awesome success. But so it was pretty cool to see, James, an LD athlete, taking the win out, which was really cool. And as well as doing stuff for the team, I thought it was a great weekend.
I think so too.
Yeah, definitely.
Great team to get behind too. They're super supportive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great team. Yeah, the
Great
whole
bunch of people.
Brady family, awesome family, and the money they spent to put that entire program together is a lot. But to see them get results that quickly, they've done everything right. And it's just paid off. So it's awesome to see.
And people don't realise, like, you think about grassroots racing, you go, oh yeah, okay, like there's a little bit of money in motorsport, there's always money, but genuinely, you can tell by the semi-trucks.
How cool are the semis, right? Because
They're so cool.
Because everyone has to work
I call
at
them the sprint cars. Like, they're so wicked.
Yeah, I was talking to Macaulay Jones, and I was saying, like, because everyone spends their time working out of these trucks, they're immaculate. Whereas like supercars and other road racing events, they're just transporters.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like, I'm talking, when we say like immaculate, I mean as in they have speakers built into the walls with LEDs behind them. There's sliding doors into a separate office that's air conditioned for the guys. There's then a second trailer behind the first trailer, and that's got their kitchen, their sleeping quarters, their shower, laundry. Yeah. Like, these are genuine, apartment blocks on wheels, really.
It's impressive.
It's very cool. And then, as I said earlier, like, the best bit is at the end, everybody just has a party.
Yeah, crank the music, get the beers out, and everyone hangs around. It's a real big community.
Yeah.
Which is so cool to see.
It's just unique.
Yeah, 100%.
I put it on my stories as the last bastion of rowdy Australian motorsport.
That's
before the
point.
FIA gets involved and starts, which is crackdown.
Yeah,
and
we don't
everything.
want that.
No. Shh. But yeah, absolutely. Topic 2.
Yeah, well, I was racing back in 2020, and I've been going for as long as I can remember to this event. So to be able to do like the merchandise and just be involved on a whole general level, see that much LD getting around, it's quite not, I don't know what the word is, but it's real touching because it's so connected to what the brand is and how I started and everything like that. Obviously, I raced there in 2020, right before the old COVID thing happened. So it's, it holds a special place in my heart, and I try and go every single year. And just the fact that the community gets behind the brand, especially like that event and stuff, is it's really special.
And it's growing, right? Like, how's it grown since when you were back racing? Is it around the same? Is it getting bigger? Or what's
the event?
The community behind it, the attendance. Or
like I say, every time I go, it's always more and more and more. Yeah. And we can see that on the business side, like we can see that things are growing, but then on the community side, to get to the event, and actually see it in person, that's like the really special part.
Yeah, wicked. That's amazing.
So I always love to get back there and try to get involved as much as I can. Hopefully more opportunities arise where I can get involved in the right way. But for now, I thought it was a great weekend. It's cool to wrap it up and have a bit of a chat, especially with someone who's a complete novice on speedway.
There's something
but absolutely loved it, which is really cool. And I'm trying to unite this greater motorsport community with Speedway, because I know how cool it is. It's
Yeah.
freaking epic, and it just needs a little bit more marketing in a general term to showcase what it's actually worth. And I think, there's a lot of things happening now, which is really exciting to see, different TV series and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll just try and do my part.
Yeah, for sure. It's good to support where you came up from, right? And, as I said, from my perspective, seeing something that's effectively, the best way I could put it is probably like NASCAR cross with rally, cross with a bit of circuit racing. Like,
it's just so unique. It's hard to explain.
It's very hard to explain. Like, it's very,
explain.
very strange, but in the best way possible. It's just an absolute spectacle to go and see. So, yeah, by all means, get behind it. If you haven't seen it before, go have a look. There's a few local races around Australia, especially. Check the calendar and take a peek. But
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But, yeah, so for now, see you next time.
See you next time.
My throat!
I'm fucking keeping that on.
Why is my throat stuffed?